Good afternoon, creatives. This is Attorney Angela Green with PFM TV. I'm dropping in to share an interview that I had earlier today with Miss Keia Johnson. She is a recording artist as well as an international vocalist. And just like others in the industry, she was impacted by COVID-19. However, just recently, she got some very good news. And she came on to share with us her journey, her good news, as well as to provide some encouragement to other independent artists such as herself. So without further ado, here's my interview with Miss Keia Johnson. Keia, I want to thank you for jumping on with me this afternoon. Listen, I happened to be going through Facebook and I was scrolling through and I saw a Facebook Live from you where you're impromptu going on to share some good news. Why don't you share with us exactly what it was that prompted you to do that Facebook Live?
Well, hi, Angela. You know, I love talking with you. I always get so much great information from you, so this is no problem. Actually, what you caught is what I call my 3 parts of the trilogy that has been going on for a couple of weeks. I've been trying to apply for the PPP loan. And, you know, I didn't get the first wave and then the second wave happened. I just kind of been waiting. And then Friday, my bank actually emailed me and said, we got good news. Funding has been secured. We just need you to sign this paperwork and hopefully we'll turn that around and send that right back to you. So that's kind of what you caught. And I was super, super thankful and excited about it.
I know a lot of people like yourself as independent artists and working musicians out here have been caught quite a bit with the COVID-19. So we've been talking about it. I know a lot of people with the Grammys have been getting the information out to individuals. So just kind of take us back and tell the people a little bit about what you do as an artist and musician.
Okay. So basically, I'd say for about 10 years, I've been operating as a sole proprietor. I definitely get paid through my business and I pay my, my friends or coworkers through the business. So I've been set up for a minute and I actually was on a webinar for the Grammys because I was trying to figure out, grant money, what could we do? And they were talking about how the government was passing the CARES Act and how there would be an opportunity for small businesses to apply for the PPP loan. And I'm like, small businesses, well, that's me. Let me go read, I did a little deep dive on what it was. And everything that I read, it sounded like I would qualify. Now, Angela, I did not believe that I would get it.
Right.
But my thing is, let me throw my name in the hat. Right. I mean, at worst, I'll be where I am. At best, maybe I'll get some relief.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what started the process. Yeah. So, but it's been a trying process because like the first wave came through and the money was gone lickety split. The second wave came through and it's just kind of been like, okay, what's going to happen? Are we going to be able to get it in time? And so that's kind of where we are now.
But I know the Recording Academy, as well as other entertainment organizations, they were very proactive in getting with the government when they realized that the CARES Act was going to be put together, just making sure that land is in place for independent artists, independent contractors such as yourself, so to make sure that you could get a part of the monies that was going to come in. So I appreciate that, too, that they were looking out because the industry, especially the live performance industry, was hit very, very hard, as far as that aspect of the entertainment industry. So just how has the COVID-19 impacted your ability to get gigs or to perform, to work?
Yeah, I mean, it stopped it. It halted it. It eliminated it. It just, I went from literally like one day I'm planning into 2021 and then the next day there's nothing. Like literally everything was canceled. And it was heartbreaking, and I was stuck, I definitely felt depressed. I felt like, what am I? Because not only is it what I love to do, the live aspect, the connecting with people that I'm not going to be able to do, but then also, and I'm not going to be getting paid. So that's all of that in one fell swoop. I just kind of felt like, who am I without this capacity to perform and to connect and to bring music to the world,
Right.
That was really, really hard.
Yeah, and to earn a living, like anybody else trying to earn a living.
And earn a living.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought up the different organizations like the Grammys. And I know, you're always plugged in with all the organizations to help artists as well. But then also, I did do a petition to our state representatives and our governor. So there was
Okay.
other things that I was trying to do too, just making sure that they were aware. And I had forgotten how many people I had written because they started to reply back like, we've seen what you said, we're going before. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So
Right.
it really did matter saying something.
Right, exactly. Just letting them know that you were here and this is your predicament in particular.
Right.
And making sure that they had on their radar as they were putting things together. Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Exactly.
So let's go to the actual loan application. What bank did you use?
Oh yes, I'm so glad you asked that. And I'll say it again. I don't want to get you in trouble, but I actually bank with Iberia Bank.
Okay.
I used to bank with Bank of America, and they just were not personable. And for the type of business that I do, I need to be able to call someone sometimes and say, "Hey, can I get help with this?" Or I need to be able to get money exchanged into yen or exchange into Italian money. Like I needed conversation and connection. So I've been banking with Iberia Bank going on about 3 years. And again, Angela, there are people, they see me every week. I'm in there every week coming, for the weekend, whatever I've gotten paid, I'm going to the bank and depositing it. So definitely have a relationship with them and was able to kind of really be able to talk with someone through this process.
Okay. And you know what, I kind of realized too, in just talking with individuals in the industry, the banks seem to be prioritizing their current customer base. So people who already had accounts, people that they already knew personally, they were basically putting their applications to the top and kind of working with them first and then kind of, dealing with everybody else on the back end. So that was really good that you had already established yourself as an independent contractor and was running your career as a business. So essentially you
right
to just kind of slide in and call your banker and say, hey, I think this is something that I need to tap into. So did you apply on April 3rd for the first round, or did you get in on the second round?
So I tried to apply in the first round. And I'll say this before I answer that question. Angela, this is the first time that I've really understood the importance of banking relationships. I just never saw the bank as an extension of any type of relationship. I just saw it as the bank.
Right.
But now I understand, and it's forced me to think more like a businesswoman and understand that your money does have power, where you bank is important, and knowing that your money has a way to work for you. So I'm definitely glad you asked the question about banks and having relationships with that. But as far as the first round, ironically, I had called them because I knew it was coming down the pipe, knew the act was going to be passed. And I said, hey, what do we do to get paperwork in? They're like, oh, don't worry about it. It's not going to work. We're not going to run out of money. It's going to be fine. So I kind of leisurely, the next day when everything came down, emailed them. They sent me the application. The next week we went back and forth, getting all the information in. And then about Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, they was like, sorry, it's out of money. And I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. So I wasn't quite, we had finished, but it wasn't submitted. So it was the second round that they actually, I think, submitted my application. So it was the second round.
So because they had all your documentation in, so they were just waiting for it to open up. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
So what was the documentation that you submitted for the application?
Right. So there was an application itself that just basically asks you questions, and actually I got it right here because I want to be as specific as possible and help as many people as possible. The application itself wasn't that difficult. It literally asks you questions about, your citizenship, if you've ever applied for certain loans before, how long your business has been in operation. You had to send a copy of your taxes, of course, and they wanted a couple of years of taxes to prove that, you didn't just kind of whip some stuff together yesterday. But that was basically it. I mean, it wasn't difficult per se.
Right. And I think that's what artists need to understand, the importance of running your career as a business. You're going to have all that documentation at your fingertips when you need it. It's just a matter of pulling it back out. Hopefully you have an accountant. You have an accountant or someone who help you do your books and your taxes and everything.
I do.
Yeah. So then it's just a matter of calling them and getting that information and pulling it together and sending it off. And like you said, it was a very simple process. As long as you were able to prove that you were a business, I think in operation by the 15th of this, February 15th of this year,
Yeah.
then you
Yep.
qualify. And then having that relationship with your bank and everything. So everything kind of works out that way. So that's kind of what I wanted us to kind of discuss and just kind of illustrate, through your example, what it is that independent artists, sole proprietors, they are qualifying and they are getting approved for these loans. And I believe with the second round of funds, there's money out there and that they should apply. And then if you don't have a relationship with the bank, you need to go ahead and start. You need to, because they will do the applications eventually, but you're probably going to have to open up a bank account with them and just start working with them. And I think,
and that part is bizarre to me, people that don't have bank accounts that are in the field. I don't know how you do that.
Right. I know having booked, and I booked you years ago for a gig over at the Blue Restaurant.
Yeah.
And I know, many times they'll insist on cash. There are many artists that insist on being paid in cash. And I always paid in checks just for my own personal documentation as a business owner.
Exactly.
It's like that gives you your documentation to show your income and everything. So
exactly.
Hoping that this information and that artists who haven't been operating that way, there are, they can start now. And then there are other opportunities for them, because I know many of them could apply for unemployment. I think if you were an independent contractor, you could apply for unemployment as well. And then there's
which I do as well.
Right. And so there's several grant programs through the Assisi Foundation and a couple of other nonprofits that are doing Arts. I think it's Arts Memphis that has
Arts Memphis has been amazing. That has been to date my only grant that I've gotten, and I've applied for about 4 or 5, but that's the only grant that I've received
thus far. Okay, so I know that those are out there. So anyway, I just appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, and hopefully this will inspire, encourage other artists who are out there who may still be waiting to get that PPP loan, or may have been contemplating, should I apply? Hopefully this will encourage them to go ahead and do that.
And I appreciate you again for doing this. I hope it does too. I know it's a catch-22, and I know there's pros and cons to both. But if anything that I've learned is that if you want to be respected as a business, you have to present yourself as a business. And if you want to elevate and kind of move to the next levels, you got to have your business taken care of as well as your creative side. And if you're not able to do that, then get someone on your team that does think that way, that you can work with. And actually, this is forcing me to realize I'm not just an artist. I have some passions on helping other people. Of course, the political advocacy is important to me. And I actually plan on doing a website. I'm sorry, not a website, a workshop. Just kind of saying, the title is So You Can Sing Now What? And just kind of getting into, getting into all of the other stuff that, it's like, okay, I'm not saying this in an ugly way, but if you want to be more than just the singer at church, if you want to actually be a brand, what does that look like? What does that mean? And it's work. You got to put some work in and invest in yourself.
Exactly. So before we wrap it, why don't you let the people who happen to watch this video know where they can find you and hear some of your music?
Absolutely. So I have a website, which is KeiaJohnson.com, Keia Johnson.com. That has all my social media connects and links. So Facebook, official fan page of Keia Johnson, Instagram, The Real Keia, Twitter, Contact Keia. And then all the music is available on streaming sites, Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you can stream music. For the most part, you can find my information. Had an EP that released last year that I'm still really excited about, and a couple of videos out on that. Have a YouTube channel. So definitely, if you just Google my name, even, you can find me, but also the website.
Excellent. Well, Keia, I appreciate you. You go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. And we're going to be doing some other things. So I'm definitely going to have you in there, have you back. And especially when you launch that workshop, I would definitely want to, so you can kind of talk about that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.